Is it time to kiss goodbye to that festive peck under the mistletoe?
Well, in a recent survey, more than 3/4 of office staff said a cheeky Christmas kiss no longer feels appropriate in light of the Me Too movement.
But should we really reconsider our under the mistletoe conduct, or is it just a bit of flirty fun? We're joined now by
I'm not gonna. I'm just holding it up.
I don't know what you're doing. Journalist Rebecca Reid alongside etiquette expert Liz Brewer to discuss. Welcome to both of you. So, I mean, this is a long-standing tradition. It's something that's been part of our lives. I've got some mistletoe as soon as you walk into my front door. Simple little Christmas gift, a sign of love. Rebecca, for you, no, this should be banned.
I mean, I think having it in your house is one thing, but my real objection is in a corporate environment, because I've been at Christmas parties where the office lech has kind of realised you're standing in the mistletoe and decided to make a move based on that. And somehow, because it's traditional, it's much harder to kind of knee him and tell him to get lost. And I think, lots of things in this country are traditional. Fox hunting, corporal punishment in schools, and we decided to give those the heave-ho. Not all traditions necessarily are good, and some traditions were good, but they have the end of their time. And I think certainly in the corporate environment, mistletoe has seen the best of its days.
Well, 86% of office workers now believe the stereotypical badly behaved office party is a thing of the past. Almost half the office staff believe being tipsy in front of the boss is unprofessional. So does it encourage people to behave badly?
I mean, I think the party, possibly, and I'm very pro lots of bad behaviour. The bad behaviour that I object to is people being made to feel objectified or harassed because it's Christmas. And we know that harassment in the workplace is a very real issue. We know that women are experiencing this, and it seems just really illogical for very little gain to put something in place where when HR reams you in on the 3rd of January, they can say, oh, but it was just the mistletoe, rather than I'm sorry for my conduct.
Liz?
So, yeah, go on.
Right, well, it is a tradition. I've obviously been at the wrong office parties because I've never even seen mistletoe, but never mind. I do agree with Rebecca, life has changed, and within the office environment. It's more open plan now, you get to know your fellow workers, and I think people are actually, they're slightly more serious and doing a lot of networking at office parties because that's the name of the game. Ambition and keeping a job and going forward. So people don't behave inappropriately, as they did, if you go back 5, 10 years, when they did. And that survey, incidentally, I noticed that sitting on a copying machine, only 42% or somebody said it was inappropriate. Does that mean the rest think it is? So, I mean, these surveys, I'm a believer in tradition. I love traditions, and I'm delighted you have mistletoe in your house. And it's something which suggests friendship. You don't have to give a full-blown kiss. No tongues allowed. But what you are doing is showing people it's the love of Christmas. It's a tradition. Traditions come and eventually they go. This one's been with us a very long time.
But if you find yourself under the mistletoe and somebody comes up to you, you don't feel forced to have to kiss that person if you don't want to. But you say that it is rude if you don't.
No, I haven't said that. I didn't say it's rude if you don't. What I've said is that if somebody approaches you, you're under the mistletoe, you can do an air kiss, you can do both sides. You don't want to make somebody feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of courage to go up to another person nowadays with the Me Too thing.
But I think this is the problem, is that what's more important, somebody's right to not be made to feel uncomfortable by having their advances rebuffed, or somebody's right to not be made to feel uncomfortable by having an unwelcome advance. And to me, it's always better to not make an advance to somebody who might feel that they have to respond, and an employee may well feel they have to respond.
And I completely understand that, but don't you end up with a work, bearing in mind that many people with long and loving relationships have met at work.
Yeah.
And that is just maybe a little bit of flirting. You're not, so long as you're not forced.
Yeah.
And so long as and people, the office lech now knows that the chances are he is going to be hauled in front of HR on the 3rd of January. It's a bit of flirting. It's maybe the chance to give that person a peck
Cement
on the cheek.
the relationship.
But if a relationship's meant to be, you shouldn't need a bit of foliage to bless
Sometimes
it.
it
but
does.
everybody
Sometimes
flirts.
it does.
You should-
Sometimes
if
it
you-
does.
if you
Especially
wanna
in
date
today's
somebody-
world, people are so conscious of how they behave and can I do this and can I do that. We've actually caused a lot of problems.
I
with
don't think we
Me Too.
have. I think we haven't caused a lot of problems with Me Too. We've tried to remove a situation where women are systematically harassed and sexually assaulted at work.
Which nobody can disagree.
Nobody should ever say
And
that
I
Me Too has
totally
caused a lot
agree
of
with
problems
you.
because women were literally being sexually
Of course,
harassed and
we
raped
know
by
that,
people
but
they
we're
worked with.
We're talking about mistletoe.
Okay,
so
bring it
just
back to mistletoe.
Back to that, and
you wanna-
the fact that it is just a frivolous tool for a bit of flirting.
Yes, so if you would like to date in the workplace, there are some really sensible guidelines, one of which is that you shouldn't date somebody who is junior to you because they might feel that they're in a position of weakness against you. If you want to date somebody at work, you should be looking for active and affirmative consent. Enjoy that long flirt. Make sure that it is retaliated. Make sure that you are really investing in making sure that they want to be doing this. Because the problem is, mistletoe, I like the way you look in that dress, I'm going to start licking your neck, is not a comfortable situation for anybody involved.
Big step from kissing under the mistletoe.
That's
Totally different.
So listen, this goes further because there are rules for Christmas, Father Christmas too. Father Christmas must now at the grotto abide by certain rules, including keeping hands on show at all times with palms on knees in photographs. They are not allowed to lift the children onto their laps. Parents must do this themselves. John Legend and Kelly Clarkson have recently come under fire for changing the lyrics of Baby It's Cold Outside for their festive cover. The original track has faced controversy from critics who suggest that the song raises questions about sexual consent. It's argued that the line, say what's in this drink, there's no cabs to be had out there, is a reference to date rape. So it does seem that this is...
Yeah.
This is building momentum,
It is
isn't it?
building momentum, and especially with songs. I mean, that song was 100 years ago. We do move on. I mean, if you're going to start on that song, how about what was it? The police, every step you take, every breath you... I mean, nothing could be more appropriate because that's somebody who is actually literally trailing around somebody who may not want it. I happen to love that song, as I do a lot of the songs. I think it's just taking it a step too far.
Do you think it's a step too far to start changing the lyrics retrospectively? You know, you look at something that, I mean, there's a lot of love songs out there. Not all of them appropriate now.
We've always updated lyrics as things go along. All Things Bright and Beautiful was updated because it used to say the rich man in his castle and the poor man at his gate as a statement of how poor people should be in one place and rich should be in another place. That was updated like sort of around the post-Victorian times. So we've always, and when they redid Mamma Mia, they changed a lot of the song lyrics. It's a very normal part of life. If you watch the film that Baby It's Cold Outside is from, you can see that the context is that she really wants to stay. She just feels like she has to be a good girl and put up a fight.
Spot
But the
on.
problem
Spot
is
on.
that we
Yeah,
don't
she did
hear
want to
that.
stay.
She did want to stay, and good on her, she should. But the point was, in this situation, she wasn't. We don't see the song in the context of the whole film. We hear it out of context, and
so
it does
we're just
sound a bit.
so easily offended now.
Yeah,
Everything
true.
offends
Everything's
us.
inappropriate.
We're outraged by everything.
I think there's definitely an argument to be made for that. The problem is we have ample space and time to talk about everything, and we kind of reflect very heavily. And I can see why people say, "Oh, it's snowflakes, people have gone mad." But the reality is, we're trying to make a better world. We're trying to create a situation where nobody comes home from their Christmas party and thinks that was horrible. I got chased around for a whole
Can I
evening.
just address the Father Christmas and children? You know, we are sadly living in an age now where things have changed and a lot has become inappropriate. And I think this is just a question of being on your guard, avoiding something that might happen. Nobody's saying it has happened or will happen, but people are so conscious that they're really taking even a child
but I
sitting
do
on
think
Father
putting-
Christmas.
I understand what you're saying, but I do think putting your child on the lap of a stranger and then kind of leaving them with them, like I was when I was a small child, it's a weird thing to do.
All right. Well, listen, thank you both very much.
Thank you
I
very
think I'm gonna
much.
have to leave it
Can we
there.
have
Go on and on.
Can we have a kick?
You can
Mistletoe, please.
You take that and keep that. That's for you.
Yes.
I'll see you in the break. I don't know. That's me in front of HR now. I don't know.
3rd of January.